My beautiful sister, we are in a very interesting time as it relates to relationships and purpose partners and godly marriages and the whole gamut of the prophetic year of the bride here in 2022. I'm definitely not making light of the situation. I just think it is a very, very interesting time for women of faith, for God's women, as we prepare to meet our King, essentially, as we prepare to be wives and helpmeets and everything the Lord has called us to be in our role as a purpose partner to our spouse. My dear, just because some of us are waiting on a marriage promise in this season doesn't mean we have to start to resent being single, okay? If you are clicked on this video, if you are here, if you clicked on this video, you are in the right place at the right time. My name is Samara Bharath and I am your host here at Healed Women, and I'm super excited you're joining me for another video on prophetic marriages and basically how to maximize your singlehood without idolizing marriage. It is so important, my dear, that you understand that singleness is not a punishment for doing something wrong, and marriage isn't a reward for doing something right, okay? Especially in church circles where marriage is definitely something that is exalted or even idolized, or it's something that is highly desirable. But not everyone desires marriage, not everyone was called to marriage, and not everyone is promised a marriage in this season. So if you are currently battling with the onslaught of information as it relates to kingdom marriages and just waiting for a godly spouse, I feel your pain, sis. Okay, I got you. I feel you, okay? So today we're going to be addressing how you can remain content in your singleness, whether or not you're waiting for your kingdom marriage to manifest or to come into your life, or however you are phrasing this waiting period. You do not have to start resenting your singlehood. So before we dive into a couple signs about how you can, or a couple tips about how you can maximize your singlehood, go ahead and join our community, sis. What you waiting on? We are talking about all things healing and increasing your knowledge in the body of Christ, becoming a woman of faith, okay, really stepping into your royal position as queen, activating and unlocking your royal position as queen here at Healed Women. What you waiting on, sis? Okay, we're a growing, thriving ministry of women on fire for Christ, on fire for becoming women of extraordinary faith, and on fire for godly relationships. My dear, your singleness is the single best time in your life, okay, no pun intended. It's the single best time in your life to focus on yourself, to focus on your relationship with God, to really discover, who am I? What was I put on this earth for? What is my purpose here? Okay, it's really a time in your life where you get to answer some really important questions. And it's definitely not a period of your life to resent, okay, my dear? It's so important that you understand the magnitude of the events that take place in your singlehood before you are even positioned to be in a godly, purposeful union, okay? If you do not address those questions or handle certain issues or resolve certain issues from your childhood in your singleness, you will absolutely drag those same issues into your future relationships. And that's a huge red flag, okay? Not healing, being a broken-hearted girl, being a broken woman, not fully realizing your potential as a queen in the kingdom of heaven, okay? These are all things that will work against you. They're detrimental to your healthy relational life if they are not handled in your singleness. So remember what I said, singleness isn't a punishment. It is the most enjoyable time of your life just by yourself, okay? Investing in yourself and really just learning what the Lord put you on earth to do, discovering your purpose, okay? Securing the bag, figuring out what your passions are. It's truly a magical time in the life of both men and women. But so many people on both sides, both men and women, really misuse the single season, or they don't really understand, and therefore they do not take advantage of all the benefits of being single. My dear, today I'm going to help you sort of shift your mindset around what it means to be single and waiting. It's okay to be waiting, but it's not passive, it's active. You're always actively waiting on whatever the Lord has promised you, okay? Whatever you're waiting on, I can assure you the Lord is preparing you for that promise, and that includes going through a beautiful, maybe a beautifully challenging single season. So you've already clarified that singlehood is not a punishment, okay? And marriage is not like some trophy you get to put on your wall, okay, my dear? There are simply two separate seasons where the Lord is using both men and women, singles and couples, to forward the kingdom agenda. So don't think of it as something that you did wrong. Perhaps you are single again because something went wrong in a previous relationship, and now the Lord is like, okay, can it just be me and you? Can we just work on this thing, my dear? Can we just heal your heart? Okay, heal your heart and and renew your mind in this season. So even that isn't a punishment. It's a time of healing in Jesus Christ. And that is a very essential part to ensuring a successful relationship, is showing up as the healed version of yourself. Okay, my dear. So don't resent this single season, even if you're wrong, even if you're single for like the second time, or you're in a revolving door of being single. That's a red flag though. If you are in a constant revolving door of being single and having to go into healing seasons, it may be time to just step all the way back, my dear. Step all the way back and say, Lord, I'm done. Just take me as I am, okay? Take me into a radical season of healing and transformation. And then he's going to partner you with someone who you'll never have to say, we're done, okay? You'll never have to break up or dump or be dumped, okay, my dear? I promise you. That was me. So take the benefit of my experience. Let the Lord heal you, sis. So first things first, you can and absolutely should cultivate joy in both seasons of your life, okay? You can absolutely be filled with joy in your single season as well as in your marriage season. So many people think that your life becomes perfect, or it's like glamorous or constantly, just the picturesque, perfect life to live as a couple. Sis, it's hard work on both sides, okay? It's hard work maintaining yourself and investing in yourself and forwarding your life as a single person, and probably doubly hard because you now have another person to be concerned about, okay? You now have another person to factor in, to think of, to provide for in the case of a man, okay? Or to support in the case of a woman. So there are different roles that you step into in marriage, but you get to cultivate and practice and develop mindsets that will support that new role in your singlehood, okay? So you should absolutely be focused on cultivating joy and peace and contentment and gratitude and all the things that make you glow from the inside out in your single season. Delight in the Lord and what he's doing in your life. And before you know it, if you've been praying for a spouse or waiting on a marriage promise, that thing will manifest right before your beautiful eyes, okay, my dear? Everyone goes through single seasons, but not everyone grows through them, okay? I'm going to say that again. Everyone goes through a single season, okay? None of us come out the womb, partnered up, or come out of the womb, paired up. I mean, prophetically, yes, okay? If the Lord knew us and formed us before we were in our mother's womb, we are absolutely destined to be with the person he has written in our book of life. But not everyone grows through their single season. So a lot of people, like I was saying earlier, don't really maximize their single season because they see it as punishment. They see it as something to escape from rather than something to enjoy, okay? So it is important that you not only appreciate your single season, but that you are literally using it as a time of investment for yourself. Does that make sense? Where you're not passively pining away, sighing, waiting for your spouse to come and save you from this prison of being by yourself, but that you are growing as an individual, that there is maturity, okay? That there is evolution, spiritual evolution, that there is wisdom, the acquisition of wisdom and knowledge, okay, my dear? That there are skills being developed, habits, positive habits, okay? That you are literally working on becoming the best version of yourself, not so that you can be a better spouse. I mean, that's a great maybe incentive to really work on yourself in singlehood, but so that you can be the woman God is calling you to be, my dear, okay? We are working on the self and becoming better women of God because we are queens, okay? We are stepping into our royal position in the kingdom. And by doing so, or because we aspire to do so, the Lord has to do some work on us alone, okay? Separation and isolation are for development, okay? They are for taking you through a process of growth and maturation, okay? The Lord desires to take you higher, and in doing so, he's gonna have to take you alone, okay? The Lord does his best work when you are by yourself, okay? When you're isolated. The Lord does his best work in isolation, okay? So if you are in a season, like I was mentioning earlier, where you are single again, not maybe single for the first time, but you're recently separated, divorced, or just single after a breakup, this is the time that the Lord is saying, my daughter, I have something different for you, but I'm going to have to take you out of whatever situation you're in right now, take you away for a while I just work on your heart and your mind. And then I will present you back into the world, into a social circle, into a community, okay? Into people who are like-minded and are elevated, okay? I'm going to put you in a community of queens, okay? I'm going to elevate your entire status, your social status, and your mindset. But you've got to let me do some work on you in your singlehood, in your single season. So don't knock this season, especially if you are going through a recent a recent breakup or separation, because the Lord is doing something beautiful in you, even though you may not perceive it right now, okay? It's so important that you don't waste your time, okay? Remember, we were saying how being single is not, or if you are in preparation for a relationship, you're not passively waiting, you're actively waiting. There are things you can be doing right now in your singlehood, not only to maximize it, but to be the person God has called you to be for whatever He is calling you to. Does that make sense? So we're not sitting pining away like Rapunzel in her tower, waiting to let down our long hair to our prince. We are actively working, we are serving, we are volunteering, we are seeking the Lord's face, okay? We are seeking His instructions. He's giving us a vision and we are starting to walk out that vision, okay? We have some hard questions to answer in this season, like what is my purpose? What could I be doing to forward the kingdom agenda? Those are some heavy topics, heavy questions to answer in this life. And you may not be able to do that by someone's side just yet, okay? My dear, if you do not first understand why you are here on this earth, you will be of little to no use to a purpose partner. You'll be of little to no use to someone who is walking in purpose because you have no idea how to walk beside them. You have no idea how to compliment them. You have no idea how to support them, be a helpmeet, okay? You have no idea how to step into the role that the Lord has called you to be, has formed you to be, because you did not allow the Lord to mold you and form you and really develop you and introduce you to your purpose before He introduced you to your purpose partner. So don't mess around pining after marriage and end up with a counterfeit, okay? Don't mess around pining after what you think is going to be a better, perfect, a better, perfect life and end up with a counterfeit, or end up with someone to whom you don't even compliment, okay? End up with someone who is not God's best for you, who is not, part of the marriage promise God gave you, but you were just tired of being single, okay? We really want to start viewing singlehood in a positive light and not in a negative light as if it's a jail cell, okay, my dear? It is a beautiful time in your life. And if used correctly, will absolutely propel you into a beautiful marriage, into a beautiful partnership, okay? But first, all the focus has to be on yourself, my dear, okay?